What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Save the Game Media. Today, we are doing our review discussion and spoiler cast for Stellar Blade. I am your host, Kevin, and I am joined by my fellow co-host from Save the Game Media's podcast network, Kyle. How are you doing?
Stellar.
You're a loser.
It was there. It was there. I had to.
Yeah,
I'm
Bree, how are
tired,
you
but
doing, Blade? Nerds.
this is a vampire.
uh,
That's so true.
Bree, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Nothing too crazy.
Well, that's good. Thank you both for joining me today to talk about Stellar Blade. Obviously, a game. When did the game come out? April 26th. So about
Like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks.
That's like
Wow, we finished this game awfully quick, guys.
I mean,
Yep.
I finished it very quickly.
Yes. Well, before we get into our actual review discussion and spoiler cast, remember this is Save the Game Media. You can support us right here on youtube.com/Save the Game Media by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel as we aim for 1,000 subscribers this year. If you're listening on audio feeds, make sure to drop us that 5-star review. It does help us in the algorithm. And if you want to come over to patreon.com/Save the Game Media and select a tier and support us further for $1 a month, you can get all of our podcasts in one feed early and exclusive content. So if that sounds up your alley, please head over to patreon.com/Save the Game Media and choose the tier that's right for you. So
Also,
guys,
a free trial.
oh yeah, we don't promote that enough. That is a good point. We should promote. You can get a 7-day free trial at the $1 tier. So go over there and check out everything we have on offer. You have monthly post shows like host versus host where we do some games against each other. It's pretty fun. So guys, you want to get into the Stellar Blade discussion now?
Yeah, man.
Yes, please.
Okay, so where would you like to start? This is a spoiler cast, so we're going full spoilers right off the bat. So why don't we jump right into the actual gameplay? I think that's probably a good place to start because I want to know each of your experience with the difficulty, how you found the combat. And Kyle, I want to go to you first.
So I was a little worried at first when all the previews were coming out because everyone was like, "Oh, it's like Sekiro meets a Nier or something," and I was like, "Oh, I'm not a fan of either of those games."
Yeah.
But then I tried the demo, and I was like, the demo was awesome, and the game was even better. I think in the day one patch, they kind of tuned the timing and the reactions a little bit, so it felt a little more responsive, which was great. I did play on story mode. I didn't. I'm not great at these types of games, so I played on story mode. But I only died, I think, in combat twice.
Okay.
And then all the other times I died were because I jumped off a cliff or something. But I didn't find it overly difficult, which was great. I found the combat and gameplay to be pretty engaging and immersive. The first day, I just wanted to keep going. I was fighting everything I could in the world because it was so fun. As you unlocked the new abilities like Taki's mode and the different abilities, the blink and the stun fade thing that you do, those were all super great. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Great gameplay. I think the gameplay is definitely a standout. I think for a first console game, Shift Up did very well.
Absolutely. I will expand on your thoughts a little later because I want to go to Bree, obviously the more experienced Souls player of the three of us here. And I'll talk about it, but I wouldn't exactly classify this as a Souls game,
No.
particularly. Like I see a lot of people
No.
say that, and I really don't think it falls into that category. But Bree, how did you find the difficulty? Someone that I assume didn't play on story mode.
No, I played on the normal mode, and I will be doing New Game Plus at some point, which unlocks a hard mode. I'm very much looking forward to playing hard mode because I wanted a hard mode the whole time. Um, it really the difficulty never really got me besides the last 2 bosses. And even then it wasn't anywhere near Dark Souls level where it was just I died a couple times because I was just kind of goofing off and not paying attention to mechanics like I did for most of the boss fights.
Mm.
So like it punished me because I wasn't actually paying attention to the mechanics. So I don't think like in terms of like difficulty, it's anywhere near like a Souls-like game. However, I would say that there are some Souls-like elements. It's like baby Souls. So
which is great.
yeah, it was great. I did really enjoy that.
Bree, you talking about those last two bosses reminded me when you needed to like shoot the things to prevent the insta kill. I had no ammo at some
Dude.
points, and I was like, "Oh,
I didn't have any. Yeah, I was gonna touch on that because you brought up the last two bosses, which I also thought were the most difficult, and not because like, oh my god, I can't parry or dodge or any of that. It's because of their nonsense insta kill, and that one where it was like, use your gun and stop the balls, and I was like,
Dude.
I don't got any ammo though. You gotta give me some ammo,
Dude. Okay, here's what kills me. If you have to put a gameplay tutorial in one of the last bosses
Yeah. Maybe
to
don't do it.
explain a new mechanic, it's probably not a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
It's
so funny. It's like
probably
some
not a good
bosses
idea.
will have an insta kill attack, and I'm like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I'm at the end of the game."
That's what I thought too. I was like, how many more bosses are in this game? What are you talking about? Like, you can't introduce a new mechanic this late into the game.
Dude, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, by the time you get, not that visually the Space Center wasn't impressive, like nothing about like the Space Center was gorgeous. I loved that area. But by the time I reached that point in the game, I kind of stopped paying attention to most of the game. Like I was just kind of running around beating the game, playing it,
mhm.
but like the
Mhm.
story stopped making sense, the mechanics stopped making sense. Like I was like, what are you guys doing? Like what are you doing? And that's not to say that makes it sound like I'm not hyped about the game. I still think that this game will fall in probably like my top 10 games of all time. I'm not going to give it like an
Wow.
actual number. So like that's not to say that I don't absolutely love and adore this game, but like I was really, really frustrated with a lot of the mechanics. Like, one, don't introduce a new mechanic. Two, like, if you want us to be shooting stuff, like, you shouldn't be sending projectiles and stuff that are literally impossible to dodge. Because
Mm.
I can't shoot and dodge something that's literally the entire arena at the exact same time. That's crazy. And like, oh man, I literally was yelling like the F word. I was like, hey, F you, because I got so mad at the part where it's the very last like laser cannon. There's like 5 cannons and you have to hide behind cars. I was
Oh, okay. The
that's
sniper. The
so
sniper. Yeah.
the sniper laser
so
cannon. Yeah.
angry. I have never been so mad at a game. I was literally flipping the screen off, screaming like the F word. I was so mad because I was like, okay, there's nowhere to take cover. First of all, if you do take cover behind the smaller cars, they'll hit you anyways. So why is that cover there? It one time hit me under the car. Like it
So-
hit under the car.
Interesting.
I was like,
Bree, what annoyed me about that section in particular, and before we get to Kevin's thoughts, is the entire game. Whenever you see like those turrets and the like
You can
laser
destroy
sight,
them.
you can destroy them. You can shoot them. So the first time I was like, "Oh, I'll just shoot it," and I was like, "Oh, maybe
So
I'm
I
not
did-
close enough." So then I would get closer and I'd shoot it, and be like, "I guess I can't shoot this one." And then I was hiding behind a car, and it shot behind me, and the splash damage killed me. I'm like, "Oh, I guess there's splash damage now."
yeah.
Um,
No, man, that part made me like so angry. That was like the worst. That was the worst piece of the gameplay, period. I was so mad. But I think other than that, kind of to tie it back into like the general overall discussion, I think that this gameplay has this game has such incredible gameplay and it's such a fun game. Like down to the smallest minutia. Like you'd think like, hey, there's a game about like this girl that runs around and fights with a sword. But we're actually going to give you dungeons where you can only use guns.
Mhm.
That makes it sound like oh, they don't know what they're doing. But that gunplay was so incredible. Like those dungeon areas
things
were
things
so
pop out of you
fun.
and scare you.
It was like I keep saying it, but like it was like better Dead Space, you know?
No, be
Better than
quiet. That is
wow.
dumb. That is a dumb thing.
It was like they watched Dead Space and they're like, we could fix
Kevin,
that.
what'd you think of the game?
Um,
Like,
yes, I really the gameplay is the best part of the game for me, hands down. I think the
And the
story,
art.
which will, yeah, and the art, yes, absolutely. But we'll touch on the story. But I do think the gameplay is where this game shines, and that's not to say it's perfect because I don't think it's a perfect gameplay. Like there are moments, especially the platforming sections, which I do not think feel particularly good. I often feel like Eve is kind of greasing up her high heels there and sliding off of things. And
Kevin, when you say platforming, do you specifically mean when you have to jump on like the little robots that have like the circle?
no, those are actually I mean, yes, that is platforming, but those are the easiest
Those are
ones.
my least favorite part of the platforming. Everything else I thought felt fine.
You want the section where you have to step on the PlayStation symbols in order
Oh
was
my
so
God.
annoying because her jumps just felt so inconsistent, like the length they would go.
I
Sometimes
had
she
no
would
issue with
over
that.
jump, sometimes she would under jump, and I'm like, I got so frustrated. Eventually, I'm like, because there were times where I was like, oh, well, I just want to skip. Like, can I just jump to that one over there? And you couldn't, which is fine. But then, like, when I would try and go to order, they had them like spaced weird, and I really don't think the platforming in this game was very good. And there were times like I don't know if this was near the end, but there's one section where you were like you're on the ramp or whatever, right? You're doing one of those sections where you're just sliding down and you have to
Like
dodge
where she's
things.
skating,
Yeah, yeah, but I think she
or where
was
you're sliding.
yeah, either or. But at the end, you had to jump and grab a rope. The rope grabbing
Oh
mechanic,
my
like
God.
she misses the rope unless you are dead on. Like there should be a little leeway for her to just grab it. Like if you were within this hit box of a rope. Instead, it's like if you don't hit her in the face with this rope, she's gonna miss it.
I didn't have that issue. That's so.
Okay.
Oh,
I
well,
had that issue.
Actually, weird thing. I played on graphics mode. So I
Ooh.
played at the like 30
Mm.
FPS
4K
like
30,
4K or whatever. So I don't know, maybe it was something to do with that, maybe the
yeah.
frames like
I played on performance, which I think is 1080 60 or 1440 60, something like that.
I have no idea what I
Um,
did.
you probably did quality then if you didn't set it, but I don't know if it had anything to do with that. But I did find the platforming and everything a little inconsistent in terms of like the actual combat. I think the combat is really good. It's not as slow and meticulous as a Souls game. And full disclosure again, I played on story as well because I tried the demo on normal difficulty and I was getting my butt handed to me by the normal enemies. Bree, you would have been laughing at me because I was like, why can't I dodge? Why can't I parry? And it's like I understand that she's in the middle of an animation, and like in these games, you have to finish your animation before you can do anything. But it's kind of frustrating when like a bunch of those little scorpions in the first area were coming at me in a circle, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like slashing. Yeah.
come on,
So
kid.
I was pretty bad at the game. So I dropped it to story, and I didn't have any issues on story mode. I thought that was a much more like enjoyable time for me. I didn't think if there could have been a difficulty in between story and normal, I think that would have been probably the sweet spot because I did find story a little too easy at certain points. Kyle told me that there was a difficulty spike at some point, and I never found that at all. That one area that the second desert area, I thought that was
The
so easy. Like there
great
was an
no,
enemy in
no.
there where I didn't fight them. I only ever assassinated them. So I have no idea what they actually do in a combat
The
situation.
Great Desert was the most annoying part of the entire game. Anytime I was trying to run around and those things would jump out behind me and like start slashing at me, I'd be like,
those
"Oh my
were
god,
annoying.
leave me alone! You're so annoying."
And they
It
try and
was
hug you when
so
they die. Like,
yeah, it was
Mhm.
so annoying. I hated the Great Desert. That was my least favorite part. I ran around as fast as I could trying to get everything done and in there, and then I was like, "All right, I'm done with this area. I want to move on."
Yeah, but so we'll get to the each area and what we think of them. But again, combat I think felt really good, especially as you progress throughout the game. Like at the start, you're very limited, but the more you unlock, the more abilities in the skill tree. It feels so good to play. Like especially when you get
As
like
you
the. Hmm?
As you get your beta energy up.
Yeah, as you get your beta energy up, all right, you become really good in this game, or you can take on the alpha nativas with your beta energy. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't. Again, minor nitpicks about the platforming, but I really do echo the like for a first console game, this is a very good attempt, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, for sure. How did you
Something
guys
that
go ahead, Kyle.
Oh, I was gonna say just something that I like about the gameplay in this compared to like a Souls game or a lot of other action games is when Eve hits an enemy, they like stagger and
Yeah.
they're not just like, I can tank this and just hit you anyways. It's like, no, I'm kicking you in the face or I'm stabbing you. Like, have a reaction.
Mhm.
So I like that. But Bree, what were you?
I was gonna say, you guys play shooters a lot more than I did. So how did you guys feel about the shooting mechanic? Because for me, the shooting mechanic was really satisfying, where it felt like I didn't have to rely on the gun besides the sections that were gun only. And like I could just use it if I wanted to, and it felt fun and satisfying.
Hmm.
It was fine. I didn't have any like issues with it. I didn't see it as a gun as much as I did like just a long range like one shot attack that you could do like because there was like when I think gun I think like rapid fire, and unless you're doing like the missiles where you lock on to everybody, um it's kind of like a one shot, over and over and over again, or you can do the shotgun.
Mm.
um I try to do the shotgun from really long ranges sometimes, and it definitely doesn't
Nope.
work. So I was like, okay. But the shotgun felt good, like up close, and then I didn't have any issues. I thought the aiming could have been a little more responsive or like
Mhm.
snappy, but it was. I mean, it was fine for what it was. I didn't have any like. I never was frustrated by it, I guess.
Mm.
I liked I liked the inclusion of the gun mainly because were probably at least 3 bosses that I took down just with the gun. Because I was like, I don't feel like getting in your face and slashing you right now. I don't feel like parrying. I don't feel like dodging. So instead, I'm gonna sit back here. I'm gonna fire a buttload of missiles at you because I love them. The missiles probably were my favorite part of the gun, like
Mm.
the types of ammo you get. It would melt shields and then it would do decent damage. And then I actually really liked the rail gun or whatever, the energy laser gun.
Mhm.
Especially when you get that second charge and then you can just melt people. My only issue with that is they would constantly like sidestep, like you'd start hitting them and then they just step out of the way and like you move very slow your cursor across the screen. So that was my only real issue. I did think it was interesting that they dedicate like was it two or three
Two.
two dungeons specifically to, hey, you can't get a scanner, you can't use your sword, you only have this gun. And those areas might have been my favorite areas to play, if I'm being honest. Just I don't know, like I thought they were pretty fun to go through, just like blasting the
They were fun,
enemies.
yeah.
And yeah, so like I like those areas. I thought it was really interesting that they made the gun such a big part of the game when in the trailers it did look more like a supplemental piece.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really enjoyed the dungeons as well. I think that the gunplay for me like was like I said, like it was so satisfying, like especially in those areas. And I think what like really like sold me on it is that they're different enemy types that are specifically made so that way it's satisfying to fight them with the gun, right? It rewards you for headshots, it rewards you for shooting the pack that sits at their side because it explodes. Like they reward you for correctly using the gun as like the gameplay versus like using the sword, right? So
I
they
just shot
didn't
him in
just
the
like
chest.
throw, yeah, you could do that too. Um, they didn't just like throw random enemies into these dungeons. They threw like very specific enemies that were supposed
Mhm.
to be for the gunplay. So
Am I
I
the
enjoyed
only
it.
one for the crawlers that would explode? Am I the only one that sprinted up to them and then let them explode and then sprint? I'm like, I gotta save my ammo.
I
You
mean,
don't
I
even have
did,
to run. You can just stand next to
yeah.
them and then move
Oh, really?
backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, I did sometimes, but, like, they give you so much ammo in those sections, you were never running out, like,
Hmm.
I never even once came close.
Yeah.
Um, and before we move on from gameplay, because it is a part of gameplay, I guess, What was with some of the puzzles that they did like one time and then they're like, you're never gonna see this again?
I actually
don't
really enjoyed all of the puzzle types that they did. Like there
Can you,
was like the
can you give me
arrow
an
ones. There
example?
was like so there's the arrow ones. There's the one that you click when it vibrates and it like you select a square. There was another one.
These are the chest
Oh,
ones.
the chest puzzles. The chest
Yeah.
puzzles. Yeah.
All those were easy. All those were fine. I wasn't super big on the how they had the 2 random side quests where you did the math and then that
Oh, I
wasn't
loved
anything
that.
else.
I hated it. Stupid. I
and-
googled it. I was like, this is the worst side quest in the world.
Dude, I wish they had done more of those because I was having so much fun.
I didn't care for the puzzle where any of the side quest puzzles where you had to like go to the different maps and I did every side quest. Kevin didn't. Bree, did you do every side quest?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I didn't care for the one where you had to go around to the different consoles and put the like passcode together from them around Zion. And I
Oh,
didn't
it was
care.
wait, which one? Because there were two. Because there was one that was like across the desert and the wasteland.
No, I'm just talking about the one just in Zion, and then the
Oh.
one in the desert in the wasteland where you had to find the books. I also wasn't a big fan of. Not that they were like terrible. It's just I find that kind of thing annoying.
It was tedious.
Yes, all the other things they wanted you to do were fine.
Yeah, before we'll get into the main story shortly, but why don't we transition to the side content here before we get into the main topic? Because I did a lot of the side content in this game, and that's not something I normally do in these sites. Like, but there was something satisfying about the side content for a limited time, in my opinion, because then they became very repetitive. I think towards the end, like the only side quests I didn't do were like that bunch you get right before the point of no return. I did all the other ones up till then. But the bunch you get right before it's like, hey, won't be able to do anymore. I'm like, I don't care at this point. Like, I cannot deal with go find this dead body and grab this like memory card off him. Go find this item in this area you just went to. And my big issue was if they gave me the quest, like, oh, hey, I see you're going here. Why don't you take this? Like, I got a quest for you. Why don't you, when you're there, just grab it? And like, what really made me mad was the area where you were in the sewers the second time. And then you had that like little enclave where people used to live. And there was like a teddy bear, right? And then you get back to Zion and the person's like, I'm looking for my teddy bear. And I'm like, you want me to go back to the spot?
And he was like, I saw a teddy bear.
Yes. And I was like, oh my God, like if you just give me these things to do when I'm going there, and then like I'll keep an eye out for it. It's very frustrating. Like they don't even have to tell me like just make the quest available. Don't even tell me the section it's in, but like, oh, hey, maybe that's the teddy bear. Like when you're there, you'll figure it out. They do like to point you like, hey, this is in the wasteland, this is in the desert, this is in Ido 7. Like that's fine for certain things, but a lot of it really did become tedious. And like, I don't think navigating those linear sections is very good. That became especially Ido 7. I hate Ido 7.
I
genuinely
can't
don't like
disagree
it.
more. I don't understand why you had such a hard time. It's like a straight line.
I liked Ido
don't
7.
like it. Don't like
I think
it.
Ido 7 was great. I think that like Matrix 11 was probably the bane of my existence, not because it was like a hard
That's
area
my favorite
or anything.
place.
The thing that I didn't like about Matrix 11 was that it felt like the camps weren't like specifically the supply camps that you could teleport to were not intelligently placed. Like I had to go back to that area that you're talking about with the teddy bear so many times, and there's not a camp anywhere near it. Like you have to teleport and then run forever. It's like if you're going to put a bunch of quests that require you to go to this one area, you should have a supply camp pretty close. Like I shouldn't spend 5 minutes trying to get there every time because you have to fly there, then you have to teleport to the supply camp, then you have to run, then you have to run back, then you have to like it's so much time for nothing.
Well, that's see. That's what makes me feel like a lot of the side quests were kind of pointless. The ones that I felt were like my favorite side quest in the game was the one with what's the robot girl? We give her a body. What's her name?
Oh,
Enya?
Enya.
Yeah.
Yes. She has
A
my
little on the
favorite.
nose with the name.
My Enya. She had my favorite side because I actually felt like there was like a story going on there, and there was some like it wasn't just go get me this item, click through dialogue boxes. Like I really enjoyed doing her storyline. Other than that, though, I'm like it was kind of standard fare for side quests for me.
I think that all of like the main side characters that had like the icons, I think that all of their quests were really good. Like I loved Digger's quests. I liked Kaya's quest. I enjoyed like the whole thing between Enya and Sue. I thought they were both so cute. Um and like I was really invested in a lot of these like side stories. I think that some of like the smaller ones where it's like, "Hey, can you just go grab this?" I think that most of them didn't work. I will disagree with you on the teddy bear one because I thought that that was actually like a well thought out like story piece where it's like, hey, I had a teddy
Yeah.
bear that had my sister's memory stick and I've lost this teddy bear, and he has all these teddy bears, and so you can see how guilty he feels about it because that's all he does is collect these bears now trying to find his sister.
That
So I
one
thought
would
that
have
that
been
was
fine if they
good.
gave it to me before I went
Yes.
to make sure. That was all my only issue with that one.
Mm.
So I don't know if it's just because I spent a lot of time like doing like I spent a lot of time in the open world sections doing all the side content first and then going back and I would like immediately do all the side content as it was available.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But like when the first time I went to like the Great Desert, for instance, I immediately warped back to Zion so that I could pick up any quest that appeared. And then my first time in the Great Desert, I had all these side quests to do.
Yeah,
So that
me too.
so I mean, I didn't have trouble like navigating Ido 7 like you did. I mean, most of it just took place in the one plaza that was right next to a camp. You literally just warp to the camp and walk out.
Mhm.
It took like 2 seconds. So that wasn't like a big deal at all. And the bulletin board stuff was those side quests weren't great, but they weren't like terrible because a lot of the time I could just do them as I was doing other things. Like it was like, oh, I'm running this way anyways. I'll just pick this up.
Yeah.
But I considered most of those side quests just to get money, which I was filthy rich.
Yeah, I think I
Economy
had
in this game is
180,000 by the
yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Genuinely, economy in this game pointless.
Yeah.
Yep.
I never was like, oh, I can't buy it. I was like, I'm buying everything, and I'm still filthy rich. But and then I felt a lot of those were just to get the like Vita tokens or
Mhm.
coins to buy like the outfits, to buy the upgrades and all that.
Mhm.
So that was really my incentive for doing those a lot of the time, is because I just wanted to unlock the other stuff, and that was the fastest way to get the Vita coins. But I really liked Kaya's quest, like her whole side quest about her sister and everything. I really liked that. I thought Enya's and Sue's story was good. I thought the shopkeeper and his daughter's story line was
Mm.
good, where they had that like cursed statue. And Digger's was okay. His was another one.
I just like him.
Where,
I'm gonna be
yeah,
honest,
I like
guys.
it.
I did Digger's initial quests, and I'm just now realizing I never went back and gave it like turned it into him.
Oh
You
no.
poor Digger. He
Mm.
he moves to Zion if you do his
Yeah,
quest.
he's at the end of the game. He's at Zion.
I literally went through and like went to all the terminals for him, and then I
Yeah.
just never went back to him.
Yeah, I mean that's literally like his quest. That's all you have to
Yeah,
do.
I just forgot.
And then he moves to Zion, and you can just buy like all the stuff right there from him. It's great. But yeah, I mean, I'll agree mostly about all the side quests. I think the character-based ones, good. I think the other ones needed a little bit more, but some of them were okay. And don't ever make me find a dead cat again. Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yes,
Please not. That
for
was
real.
horrible. Like literally no trigger warning for me. Like
That's like the first quest they give
It
you
was.
to,
This was
where
the
they're
first
like,
quest I did.
they're like, "Hey, find my cat," and I'm like, "Oh, I've done
I
this
thought
in
I was
Final
gonna be able to
Fantasy."
pet the cat.
I was like, "Yeah," I
Mhm.
was like, "I'll go find a cat or whatever," and then I see this cat, and I'm like, "Oh, it's sleeping," and then she's like, "The body," It's
Yo, that's what
cold.
I
And
thought too. I
Dude.
thought it was sleeping.
I was like, geez, this cat's dead. And then that kind
I
of
was
sets the
almost done.
tone where everybody you want to meet is dead.
Everyone's dead.
Everyone's
Dead. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the main takeaway of this game is everyone you care about is dead.
Yeah. I will say I think that my favorite like side character was probably Clyde. And I don't know why I enjoyed him so
fishmonger?
much. Yeah. I just really enjoyed his dynamic with Eve.
Is that the fish
because
guy? You get the
Mhm.
fishing
Yeah.
rod one?
You
I didn't
Yeah.
do it.
No,
I didn't
not
do
the
it.
dude at the not the dude at the Oasis, right?
No, he is
Or
the
is it
Oasis dude.
Okay, I thought when I said fishmonger, I thought you meant the guy that you have to bring the wine and the fish
Oh.
to. That's like chopping all.
No, the
and
alcoholic dude? No.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I
no,
know.
no.
I
That
grabbed
guy.
the fishing rod and then I left. I was like,
Mm.
peace.
Did you
And
You
try
don't like Hot
fishing at
Wheels?
all?
No, I didn't do
Oh, it's
fishing at
so
all.
funny. The way that she poses with the fishing rod is so unnecessary. So unnecessary. But
I
you
thought she
know,
posed like a normal person. I don't really know.
anyways, what I
I
was saying is I really like Clyde. One, I liked that the music was the same but like a like different tone. I like that the way the music changes when you get close to him because he's singing. I really enjoyed that their dynamic where he was like the way he's like, "Hi, Angel, like I'm so glad to see you," and they were like, she was like always so excited to see him, and he was always so excited to see her, and I just thought it was such a cute dynamic that I loved going there. So, and plus you
yeah,
get an Ocean Maid outfit.
I did enough fishing to get the rewards, to get the fantastic bait, to get the trophy and stuff. But I'm gonna be honest, and Kevin knows this. I hate fishing in every game. I
I
hate it.
actually thought that this fishing mechanic was better than a lot
Nope.
of games.
No, I mean it was better than some games, yes. But just the act of having to waste my time fishing, especially when I would fish up like a tire, I was like,
Dude,
Jesus Christ, why are
the
you
amount of
wasting my
times that
time?
I've fished a freaking box is obscene. I was like, okay, if you use the scanner as well, this is what kills me. If you use the scanner and like a fish comes up to bite, you'll see the shape of the fish, right? But it's always the same fish, regardless of what bites, even if it's
Mhm.
a box. So you'll
Mhm.
see a fish bite
The
Or
box.
when you would pull up
the
a
fish.
canned fish, I'd be like, I get what you're doing, but I don't want the time I'm already wasting fishing to be wasted
Yo,
by fishing this.
speaking of wasting your time with cans, those soda cans.
Dude, oh my god.
Why?
Okay, the first time it happened, I was like, "Why?" But the more it happened, I just kept laughing because of
It's just
the
like a
whole
Oh, I
spin,
pose.
like
I
I'm like,
loved
oh,
It was
all the
so
poses
funny.
and
hated
finding
it.
it. No, it was
Pointless.
awesome. It was so
I
goofy and fun.
I thought it was a really fun way to do a collectible where they like actually put time into like the different like descriptions, the different like kinds of drinks, and like the posing when she grabs a can is so funny because
Yeah.
it's all different poses and stuff too.
I read that
Yeah.
initially they wanted like actual soda brands to like
To
be in
sponsor
the
the
game
game.
to
Oh, that would have
Yeah.
sponsor
been
it and to get
that would
like
have been
probably more
hard,
money
probably.
for development, but like they
Yeah.
couldn't make it happen. But could you imagine just like Eve, like Mountain Dew, Cherry Coke,
I
or like
mean,
That
just
would have
I
been
mean,
random
so
stuff like that?
funny.
there's definitely a lot of Easter eggs to real
Hmm.
soda brands in the
Yeah.
cans. Um,
Some
Bree's
of
the
those
only one
sodas
that
sounded
found all the
nasty.
cans, though.
I did,
Oh,
and you get an outfit that's just straight up lingerie.
As
give me one
opposed
second
to
here, guys.
some of the other
I
outfits.
have a screenshot of it if you want.
I need to know what it looks like. You know, Stellar Blade,
For science.
all outfits.
Just type in
Did you?
soda can outfit.
I wanted to see all of them. The soda
Oh,
can outfit.
I
Can I see an image? Nope, that ain't
maybe.
it. It's just showing me soda cans.
Yeah, because of hold on. Let me look up the name.
Yo, Google is not helpful with this search.
Look up the sorry, I'm looking up the name of it. It is called
Is it the
the
Black Pearl?
yes, that sounds right.
Now,
yeah.
Bree, I don't know if
Yeah.
I missed a bunch of the outfits, but like I
had
never
all
got a
of
new.
them.
I never got a new outfit. No, not for Eve, but I never got a new outfit for Lily.
Oh, really? I had 4.
Wait, Lily had outfits?
And Adam
yeah,
did
Lily.
too.
I had 1 new outfit for Adam. I had 0 for Lily, and I had 1 for the drone.
I had 1 for the drone.
Is my iPad right there? Yeah, hold up. I have a list of
But I was scouring. I'm like, where are the Lily outfits?
honestly, her base outfit is the best one, so you didn't miss out. But it is,
really?
yeah, it does suck that you didn't get a choice, but
Obviously, the outfits and
Like-
fashion are a huge part of this game. All right.
mhm.
Yes.
What outfit did you guys rock with?
Oh my god, so many.
So I had 3 main ones. Let me
The
look
viewers
up
will
what they
see. The
are.
viewers on YouTube will see my outfit that I rocked with when I put in game. I have some gameplay clips I'm gonna sparse throughout this discussion. So,
Oh, really?
Fun.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
and everyone can see how bad I am at this
hang on.
game.
Okay, please load.
Mine was the pre-order outfit. I
Um,
didn't find it. I didn't find any that I liked more than the pre-order outfit, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, every time I put one on, I was like, I like the pre-order one more.
I have so much to say about the outfits, but really quick for Lily,
So
she has with New Game Plus, she has 4 outfits total, and then 5 with the base outfit. But I only had 3 total, including the base outfit. So I had the pre-order bonus one, and then I had the Oh wait, no, that's why I had more because the pre-order bonus isn't listed here. So I had 4 total. Yeah. So
I don't remember a pre-order one for Lily.
yep, there was.
we
They
didn't
all
have a
have matching
pre-order bonus
outfits.
for Lily.
Yeah, did you do the deluxe edition?
No, we didn't. We did the base edition.
No,
That's
we
what
only did the
I did the
normal one,
deluxe
so that's
edition.
probably why.
Okay, you're giving you're getting scammed.
So after I got this outfit, the Sky Ace one, which you get from completing Kaya's main quest, I rocked that one pretty much till the end of the game.
I just want to Google.
But before that, I love the daily mascot one.
I'm sorry, the what one?
It's a green. It's like a green jacket. The daily mascot. It's the green and black sweater with the thigh highs and the garter straps.
Well, here's my thing. I liked a lot of the outfits, but a lot of the outfits didn't move very well with her body. Where it was like
I thought
fabric.
most of them did.
The fabric just wouldn't move correctly. Like the one that she had a jean skirt. I don't think that one looked very good. Like it looked good on her. All of the outfits looked fantastic on her, but I think that like the way that the skirt moved didn't make a lot of sense. I will say, okay, I will go over my outfits, but one thing I have to say is if you guys didn't try putting on one of the outfits that has like jeans as the pants, specifically the one that stood out to me was like the punk top outfit.
Yeah.
Literally the jiggle physics.
I tried them all on.
The jiggle physics of her butt in jeans, physically not possible. Physically not possible.
Well, I was just about to say.
So this is your favorite outfit, Kyle.
Yeah.
Yes, that's my favorite outfit. But I also liked Daily Mascot, which was like the green and black sweater one. Shout out to Ocean Maid.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
That's the one where you get all the cake.
Yep.
Let me.
Okay. I'm trying to remember if there were any other ones that
Ocean Maid.
I really liked the Orca I really liked the Orca exploration suit.
That one was so cute, but also okay, not to be vulgar, but how is she like her whole if this was real, she had to have herself glued down. Cuz how is her junk not falling out of that outfit? By the way, if you look at that V, that's all skin. So you get skin all the way down and around. Like holy cow. Yeah.
This was the one you were talking about, Bree? The black pearl one.
Yeah, just full lace.
That one's great. And then the black full dress one is one that I really liked. I thought she just looked really fancy and nice in it.
Oh, I didn't like that one.
Yeah,
All right,
mine
Cal,
was just the. Mine was
what
just
did you
the,
wear?
Mine was just the pre-order one. That one.
I did really like that. I liked the sleeves.
Yeah,
I
love
don't
the
like the
sleeves.
tie.
I like the tie.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even notice it was a tie till right now.
Well, I think that says a lot about you, doesn't it?
This outfit right here, this punk outfit, if you walk around in the punk outfit, I swear on my life, dude, her butt jiggles more than it could
I didn't
physically
have
be
this one.
possible. You
Did you
find
guys-
it in Eidos 9.
Did you guys change her hair?
Yes.
No, I didn't like any of the other hairstyles.
Okay, I am so upset about this.
I wore this one for a little bit, but I felt bad. I felt weird, so I
Yeah,
took it off.
it's yeah.
I like that one. I liked the bunny, the one with the hood on the back.
Okay, so that's one of the two outfits that I wore the most is Holiday Bunny.
No, yeah, not that one.
Holiday?
Yep, Holiday
Bunny.
Holiday Rabbit.
Holiday Rabbit.
That's
There
what
we
it is.
go.
I didn't have that. This is the one
Yeah.
that people were freaking out about, right?
Yeah, because they put lace in between her
Yeah,
boobs.
but lace, yeah.
So that one has a hood on it with bunny
This is
ears
what people were
and a
freaking
bunny
out
tail.
about?
Yeah, this is the outfit people were
Because
freaking out about.
in the one picture doesn't have the lace right where my cursor is.
Yeah.
Did they not bother looking at, I don't know, her thighs?
No, listen, you could see more of the vagina bones and for the people who were upset.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh,
The other outfit, so that's one I wore probably about 50% of the time once I had it. The other one I wore most of the time was the prototype Planet Diving Suit.
Prototype.
And
it's right there.
Yep.
It's just
that
so
okay.
just full side boob. Just like full
I was just gonna say a lot of
boob.
side boob in that one.
I'm
Like
not a fan of the shoes, to be
the
honest.
horse feet.
Yeah, she looks like a horse.
The shoes are what made me not want to use that one. Yeah.
I ignored the shoes because I was so distracted by her side boob that I didn't even watch anything else in most of the cutscenes. Like, and also the part that's like a little bit like lighter than the dark black, that's see-through mesh. So like,
did anyone
and she's also
get
wearing a tail.
She has a tail. Did anyone actually get the skin suit that makes it harder?
Yeah, all you have to do is take your
You
clothes
start
off.
with it. You
Wait,
just have
what?
to unequip.
Yeah,
you just have to unequip your first outfit.
Oh
and
my
it's there.
god. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No, yeah, you don't have to unlock that one. It's just there.
I didn't know that. That looks kind of creepy, to be honest.
It is. It's kind of like giving Attack on Titan vibes.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought. Attack on Titan looking.
Yeah, it looks kind of like what's her face, one of the female main characters. But, yeah, I think that go ahead.
I was gonna say that I changed Eve's hair to the Hatsukoi, and then made it a short ponytail because I thought that looked really good.
Okay, this is what I wanted to get upset about because, like, literally, you have all these cute these cute hairstyles, but nobody would have a ponytail with a bob. And if you're wearing a ponytail with a bob, you're freaking crazy. Like,
yeah, but she looked good, so get over it.
No, she didn't. She looked crazy. She looked crazy
great.
with having a little ponytail sticking out of regular hair.
I thought it was funny because I don't think it was until about like the 25-hour mark where I go to Kevin going, "Did you know that her sword is in her hair?"
I was like, "Yeah."
He's like, "Yes," and I'm like, "I didn't notice." I'm
one
like,
of the first things you see is like.
I thought she was just like materializing it in like a cool way, but then like one time I saw her like put it back, and I'm like, "Oh, it's her hair clip."
No. Okay. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we talk about the actual story of Stellar Blade?
I'm like, what are we even talking about?
Listen, all I have to say is like so many jiggle physics, so much side boob, so much under boob, so much top boob,
totally
so much butt.
Aren't they the developer of Nikkei?
Yes.
Like the Goddess of Victory mobile game? Yeah. And That does not surprise
Honestly,
me.
I kind of like it got to a point. Like, listen, you guys, I am like playing this game. I just was like, I am no better than a man. I am just simping for her. Like, I am just like, this is
Nothing wrong with
this is
that.
too much
I
for
agree.
me. But I will say, at some point in the game, I kind of was like, you know what? I actually like if I could run around in lingerie and beat the crap out of people, I probably would.
Yeah.
Like, how cool would that be?
Um,
You're like barely clothed and you're beating everybody up.
Listen, Stellar Blade is going to usher in a new age of. I don't know who's that weirdo on Twitter that's like I got the grums something. I don't know, man.
I have
He's
no
no
idea
idea
what you're
what you're
talking
saying.
about.
dude. If you guys don't know, you haven't seen this guy. He's
No.
the one that got the petition that had like 60,000 signatures
Yeah,
to
I know
uncensor
about the
Stellar Blade.
petition, but
Yeah, okay. He's an ex World of Warcraft developer or something, and he's like fully anti woke nonsense, but like he's very much like stellar. Like he fixed Hades 2 by changing one of the characters'
I did see
faces.
that. That
And
was
I was like,
him.
this is pathetic, bro. Like, what are we
Dude,
doing here?
I just I don't know. I don't know. Okay, maybe it's because I haven't looked into it enough. But I don't get the controversy.
There isn't one
There
unless
is.
you're an
I
idiot.
literally, what is it? I texted Kevin a picture. Like I texted our group chat a picture. And I was like, "Oh yeah, tell me more about the censorship." And it's like in the like where you're going over like the bridges or whatever to get to the alpha, and then the train
Mhm.
car collapses, and Eve ends up hanging by like that rope,
Mhm.
right? The camera
camera's-
automatically starts in an upskirt shot below her, and you can just see her underwear and everything. And I was like, please tell me more about the censorship. I was like, just
well, I think I didn't care about the censorship. Like, it didn't bother me, but I also
wait.
Because
have
you're
to
a
say
rational human being.
but I'm also confused why they put that piece of lace in. Like, it's such a small piece of lace and it doesn't matter because you
But
show literally everything in a different outfit.
Mhm.
yeah,
Like,
but
it already is there.
So hear me out though. Do you think this is censorship? Because even the game director was like, this is the version we wanted to make. This is the version we wanted to ship.
Until someone
no-
comes out with proof that Sony said, "Hey, you have to change
Yeah.
There's
this
no
outfit,"
way.
then no. Then no.
Yeah, and
Then-
I
There's
just
no
like
way.
I know.
if Sony was like, hey, you got to put a piece of lace here, but everything else is
Everything
fine.
else is
Eh,
like
but
full
that one's good.
everything else out.
But that one V-neck where
Guys
you
just
see
looking
some of
over,
those-
just one Sony exec looking over designs. He's like that one, not this one. We need lace in this one, like that one, like that, like, bro.
I imagine I really hope it's just some guy with like a lace fetish. He's like I need the mystery.
We need more lace. Just like whispering to them.
Put more
Um,
lace in. What did you just say? Nothing.
Yeah, obviously the game has sexuality, and I don't understand why people ever got offended about that, because it's not the only
No, I have
female
no idea.
protagonist that, like, if you want to make your female character less conventionally attractive, great. If you want to make them more conventionally attractive, also great. Like, doesn't matter to me at
Well,
all.
so I think that there is a conversation to be had. I just don't think that this game is the appropriate place to have that conversation because the creators are like they are using fan service like very obscenely, and it's like they're you doing it in a way that I don't think is like grotesque where it's like
Nope.
Mhm.
awful.
Yeah, I think it's great.
But I think that there are some games that make me uncomfortable with the way that they use fan service and the way that they like dress their characters, the way that they because the thing is like Eve is really badass and kicks butt and also just wears like these crazy clothing, fine, whatever, right?
I like
But
Eve as a
like
character.
if the character
Me
is
too.
like this like really like meek female character that like can't have her own opinion, that like like when we start getting into that like misogynist territory, I think that that's where the conversation comes into play, but I
Well,
don't think that this game
I
has that
saw
issue.
I saw a bunch of people that were like, Eve is just a bland, knows nothing, stand-in sex doll, and I'm like, you clearly didn't play the game. I'm like, because
Yep.
90% of her growth is her learning about humanity, her side of humanity, how she feels about things, how she
Mhm.
feels about the world. I'm like, you didn't play the game, you just saw something and you repeated it. So
There you go, Steph.
congrats.
I sent you my simping pictures in the Discord so
Yeah.
that way you can
Nice.
No,
Oh.
I agree. I agree with that. I do think that this game got a lot of unnecessary controversy around it. Mainly from people who probably will never play it.
Listen, if
And
I
there's
have to see Abby getting her cheeks clapped in The Last of Us 2, all right,
right, right.
that's offensive to me.
That's way more offensive than anything it's not related, personally. No, but like Bayonetta is also like a sexy character, right? And nobody, I don't hear anybody complaining about Bayonetta.
People do complain about Bayonetta, but they're crazy.
Who are these people complaining about Bayonetta?
Well, you have to remember that this is like the people that are complaining about the censorship are a very, very, very vocal minority. Like, it's not a big group of people. It's like 10 people that are screaming and using bullhorns. Like, let them scream.
Yeah.
Tifa. Tifa's a badass woman who is very attractive.
That's true. That's true.
Just saying.
All right. Let's talk
Cloud.
about
He's a very attractive woman.
Oh my God, yeah, he
Cloud,
is.
yeah.
When he's
Cloud
in that
also.
dress.
Well, that was my whole thing. I'm like, there's plenty of games that also depict men.
Not in the same
Bree
way. Have you
Bree
ever
de-
seen a dude running around in a thong? Come on.
Bree
Well, that's
depicted some
different
men
though, right?
in this game, let me tell you.
Yeah, I did simp in this game.
Bree did
Hold
more
on, I'll send you, Kev.
sexualizing of some of the
Oh
male
my-
characters in this game.
Yeah,
than,
listen.
than
More power
anything
to you,
I've
Bree.
seen.
More power to I'm completely. I listen. I'm not saying we shouldn't have it either. I'm saying we should have both. Okay. It's not one or the other.
Dude.
We need both.
I woke up to that. I just could not believe it. Bree.
Did she put
Yeah,
this in?
dude. Kyle's response, he was like, "Why are you all the way that you are?"
What's wrong
It's
with
because
you?
okay. We have to get to that part, and then I'll explain what happens.
See,
Yeah.
I was just playing the game. I wasn't really like focused on. I mean, listen, I can't disagree, Bree. Like,
He's so hot. I have
Hey,
never
but
simped so hard for a character in a video game. You guys.
shout out to Korea though for getting
Mhm.
involved in the game space and like console
In a bit.
market more. You
Mhm.
know, I know they've always been like MMOs and like PCs and stuff, but what Liza P and now this, I think they're crushing it.
Yeah, they are.
they love games inspired by From Software.
Mm-hmm.
What was the? Korea also has another game coming out, right? That was revealed at the Game Awards or Summer Games Fest.
Is it that Crimson
No,
Desert
it's the one with the singing school children. Do you know what I'm talking
Oh
about?
yes, I do
No.
remember one. I do remember one.
Doke AV, is that it? Something like.
What is happening?
Oh my god, I don't know, man. Korea's weird.
So you're wanting to transition to story stuff, right? Kim?
Story, yes. 52 minutes in, let's talk about the story to Starblade, which, much like the Spoilercast story, I think is probably my least favorite part of the game. I like it; it's serviceable, but it's definitely not like my. I don't feel like a strong attachment to the story.
Well, here's the thing: is like, so I have a because I don't think either of you guys have played Nier Automata, right?
No, I played about a few hours and I was like, I don't like this game.
I love Nier so much. Nier is one of my favorite. It's another one of the games that I've wrote like a college paper on, but I really did love the story of Nier, and like they were very, very, very upfront about how much Stellar Blade was like inspired by Nier. So it makes sense in like almost every single way that they're following beat for beat what's going on with Nier, right? Because Nier Automata is like basically about this android that's coming to Earth to fight robots on Earth. And it's kind of like this question of like why are we fighting? Like what are we fighting for? What makes us human? And I think that they have like very much mimicked that, where it's like, well, there are humans, but they're monsters now. And there are not humans that are basically androids, even though they call them something else. They are just androids essentially. And they're not human, but they display more traits of humanity than maybe these monsters would. And so like what does it mean to be human, right? That's kind of like the question being presented. And I think that they presented the question in a very awesome way. Like I liked the way that they like showed the question. I liked what they used for the question. But the way that they answered it and the way that they tried to tie the story up from about halfway on, I think that they just like really fumbled it. And I think that they didn't understand like the depths of the story. I will say, I think that one of the biggest issues with the story early on until the end is that the voice acting was really cheesy in a lot of spots. So even though they were like delivering like really profound like pieces of the story, the way that the voice lines were delivered, and I don't think it's the voice actor's fault, to be very clear. Um, I think that because everything was so cheesy, it kind of made a lot of stuff fall flat for me.
No, I wonder if that is just because we played it in English. I assume we all played it in English.
I
And if
tried
it,
playing it in another language, but the
yeah,
lip flaps were not lining up.
yeah. I wonder like if you played in Korean and like a native Korean speaker, I wonder if it hits better.
Maybe it's possible.
I didn't think the English dub or like that was very good for the most part. I thought Eve was good. I thought Eve was good 85% of the time. Lily,
Yeah.
I thought was a little over the top a lot of the
Lily
So
time.
was Lily was way over the top for sure.
I hate Adam with a passion.
I love Adam.
I never wanted to hear him talk
I want
ever
to climb
again.
him like a tree.
And
Turning Adam into a sexual object.
Yep.
and then I think it varied depending on the character after that. Some I thought were okay, some I thought were like god awful.
Yeah, I think Bree gave a pretty good synopsis of what Stellar Blade is ultimately about. Like you drop in 7th Airborne Squad. Your mission is to save the Earth and eradicate the Natibas, as they call them.
Elder.
Yeah, you got to kill the Elder Natiba. Yeah, you get your friend gets murdered, Taki. Well, you think she gets murdered at the time, but she gets pretty messed up in your initial fight, and then you get saved by Adam, who's a scavenger with Zion.
Very hot scavenger.
Yeah. And then you start working for the guy, the leader
Oracle.
of Zion. Yeah, which why do they spell his name
Oracle.
like that? Really drives me
Oracle.
nuts. Yeah, Oracle.
I don't know.
Oracle. Yeah, drove me nuts, but he's like barely hanging on, Skeletor on a machine, and he's like, get me the hyper cells and I'll tell you where the Natibas are, and then you can get your cores to get the Elder. And I'm like, all right, this is we're making our way here. And then I do feel like I kind of agree with Bree towards the end a little bit. Like we get the 3rd hypercell, right? And then I just feel like things kind of happen really fast. Like it just escalates, because I was like, oh, am I gonna have another area? Like we gotta go get the 4th one, and then a 4th alpha. Like we're only on the 3rd one, and then like suddenly it's like, just kidding, I'm an alpha. You take my heart. And
Well,
like,
he only had to do that because you lost the one in space.
That's true. Which the
He would have
space
died
section,
anyways,
pretty
I
cool.
think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean he was definitely dying. So my whole thing is I just thought the entire story was so predictable and foreshadowed immediately. Like I knew that Oracle was an alpha Nativa very early.
That.
I knew that very early on,
either.
and especially if you read like all like the world building is actually pretty good if you read like all the documents and all the like memory sticks you pick up. Like the minute you have to like go find like the people they were calling like traitors or whatever that don't believe in Oracle, and they start doing this, I'm like, all right, I'm like something's going on here. And then you find out like more about like the human situation in the factories, and then when you see Raven on the disc, I'm just like, okay. I was like, I understand now. And so I thought it was all pretty predictable. Even the ending with Adam being the Elder.
I cannot believe they had sex with their hands, you guys.
The minute Adam's like, I need to go back to Zion, I was like, oh, I'm like, well, that's because you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
I haven't liked you the entire game because I knew you were the bad guy. But
no, you didn't. You didn't like him because he was attractive.
The Adam plot twist was the worst thing. Like this is so
no, it wasn't
obvious. It was so
wasn't a
obvious.
good
The worst part was Mother Earth showing up. That was
Mother
dumb.
Sphere.
Yeah,
I know you ain't talking bad about Mother Sphere.
I'm talking smack about Mother Sphere.
Praise Mother Sphere.
No, I gotta be honest. I didn't like Mother Sphere showing up either.
I was
You're
like,
an idiot.
Okay, wait, which ending did you guys get? Because I think that that's important.
I did 2 endings.
Okay, which ones did you do?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I did the one where I did what I guess people are calling the true ending, where you take his hand.
The secret garden ending. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then you like fuse with him, and then you fight off
The mecha.
the mech, but you need to have gotten the like intelligence like bar that you've been seeing in the game in like the upper right corner to 100
Yeah.
throughout the game. Otherwise, you'll like kill Lily. She won't be able to eject from the mech. And so you'll shoot the railgun through her. But I didn't get that. I didn't get that one. I got the one where I save her, and then we fight off the swarm at the end for Mother Sphere, and then you go back to
Okay.
Zion and save them.
That part in
But
particular, the fighting the swarm into it randomly going to credits, I was like, what the
It was a
hell?
Halo Reach situation.
Halo Reach did that. I was fine with it.
Yeah, it was a Halo
so
Reach
stupid.
situation.
And then you get the after credit scene, which sets up a sequel. Although I think all of the endings kind of set up a sequel, except the one where Lily kind of dies doesn't like super really. But the other one that I got is where I didn't take it, and this is the one that I went. This is the one that I went with because I was like, this is my canon ending, where I stabbed Adam through the heart. And I don't know.
Who do you fight? You fight Adam?
Yeah.
You fight Adam in his like half human, half Nativa form, and then you do a second phase where he fully transforms into like an angel with like 6 wings, and he's like fully decked out in Nativa stuff. He's all white. You like get transported to like this heavenly like plane, and you just fight him there. But I killed him. And then you and Lily are walking out, and Mother Sphere comes down, and she's like that, that was not a disappointing choice, but an interesting one or whatever. And then you get on a ship and you go up to space to go back to Mother Sphere with Lily, and then you see that Mother Sphere has rings swarming the Earth to consume it. So
that seems like a bad ending, Kyle.
no, I think that's the good one.
I also did. I did the take Adam's hand one, and Lily survived. And I didn't really thought that the last boss fight was kind of anticlimactic. It being the mech, like I didn't particularly care
fighting
for
Adam
it.
is way cooler.
Yeah, fighting Adam does sound way cooler. I like this ending better, especially because I think when Eve and Adam, which little on the nose there, guys.
Well, the whole thing is like biblical imagery, right? Like Adam,
Yeah.
Eve, the angels, like the way that they all have like because the one that was in space was like the biblically accurate like angel where it's got the 6 wings and it's kind of just like a circle and like all of it.
But I will like Eve when she combines with like that look is so awesome, especially when she has a she looks so cool. Like that's what I want to play as the next game. Like
you know what I wanted? I wanted when you go into the Taki mode for her to have 2 wings, one white and one black. That would have been so cool.
That would have been awesome.
I agree. That would have been awesome. Yeah. Like I said, the story really isn't that deep here. It is very much about like Eve learns about humanity and then just discovers like they're not the real humans. They're robots, and the real humans have been turned into monsters. And now you have to decide whether.
Well, they weren't turned; they turned themselves into monsters.
It sounds like they were turned into monsters.
No, they were turned into monsters.
They made that choice
to survive. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think that Nativas might have a claim to the planet. I think maybe we should back up a leaf.
I don't see what their problem is. They revive every single time someone sits down, so I think they're okay.
I like to think that's new Nativa coming in, they go to check the shifts, like it's a shift change, and they're like, oh man, he's dead again.
I like to think it's the same one. You didn't quite kill all of them; he just regenerates.
Yeah, that's the worst. No, I will say I think that they presented, like I said, like a lot of really interesting ideas and then just didn't follow through. Like I don't think that the whole story was super shallow. I just think that like because they didn't execute the ideas that they presented, it's kind of what made it feel like it.
Can we touch on what's her name? The Raven. Yes. Can we touch on Raven?
I I want a
way-
prequel where I play as Raven and I figure out how she, like, I want to play through that. Give me a
I do
prequel where I'm
too.
Raven.
Or DLC or something. I think that
Yeah,
would
or
be
Yeah.
something.
cool.
And also, like, the way that Eve left her, I was
Messed
like,
up.
that's
when
so
she-
messed up and so badass.
Which can't move, her like limbs are cut off, she's just stuck to the wall or whatever.
Uh-huh. She
And
can't even like crawl anywhere. She's just like basically a human caterpillar at that
she's
point.
like, you're not gonna die, but you'll see what happens. And I'm like, that is so messed up. Just kill her.
I just want to know why she was so obsessed with Adam, though. Like, chill, dog.
I mean, have you not seen how hot he is?
That's kind of what I felt like. She genuinely just thought he was like really hot.
No, I
Okay,
think-
while we're talking, because
I
we were
think-
talking. Go ahead.
I said I think it's because Adam chose Eve to be the one that he like fuses with.
Yeah.
When Raven
Oh yeah.
had been the one like doing all his bidding as like an alpha, and she
But
wanted
why
to be
was
the
she
one.
doing that though? Like, why was
That's
like,
why I
She's
want
so
the
hot.
prequel. Because she figured out Mother Sphere was lying to them, so she's like, I'm gonna fight for them now.
That might just be it. She might have motivations, and like Adam kind of offered her a path forward.
So why didn't Adam do that with us though? Like, why couldn't we have been the next Raven?
Well,
We literally were at the end. What are you talking about?
yeah. No.
This
What I was
is
gonna
it.
say is, you guys, like, the reason I have, like, for context for the audience, I have so many screenshots of Adam.
An unhealthy
Just in
amount. Her
that last-
PS5 gave her a storage
The
warning.
last, dude, literally, just the last, like, the last cutscene where he's like shirtless. Literally, like,
Standing there brooding.
when I tell you, I was like cry laughing at myself because I was literally like, every time the screen would move, I would like pause and take a screenshot. It was like, beep, 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 beep. I took so many screenshots, you guys. I was not paying attention to what he was saying at all. Like, head empty. Like, I don't even know what was said for half of that last cutscene.
He said that Adam and Eve will fuse, and
Yeah, I got
they'll
the
make a
sex
new
part,
race.
but like the rest of it, because he talked a lot. He had a whole
Yeah, he didn't have much to
monologue.
say.
He had a whole monologue, and I was just distracted by how attractive he looked.
He
I was already simping for him, but then the shirtless
like-
plus the arm thing plus the wings, it was over for me, you guys.
to be fair, I
His
felt like he
arm
was
in-
kind of like
his arm in
Sephiroth
4K looked
a little
gross.
bit.
Yeah.
But he was more just like being like, oh, I messed up initially. I want to know why he like, and maybe they touched on this, but like, how come of all the Natibas, like he basically just said I'm built different. Like that's why I'm not a disgusting monster, right? Like,
Well, he could
Yeah.
turn into a disgusting monster.
So he
yeah,
said,
but like the other ones don't get to have a human form, but he
Well, so-
does because he's the
Well, they were all experimented on in those like factories and mass produced and stuff.
and he's like the original Nativa, right? Like he's the first one.
Yeah, he's the elder.
Yeah,
exactly,
so
he
that's-
built different.
Yeah, so he literally, because he's like the first
He is
Nativa, he
he's
just
just built
like
different.
literally is built different and hotter.
So now I wonder if he like looks out, sees the Nativa like in the wasteland. He's like, "Sup, Rick? How's it going?"
I know him.
We used to
He's
work
like-
together.
It's like in the drone mode because he's like with you the whole story,
My
watching you. Just,
coworker.
oh no, not Jill! How could you do this? That would have been fun. New Game Plus. I should just break the fourth wall consistently. Like
I should have explained to Eve sooner. All my friends are dead.
that was what I was talking about. I really messed up. I made some mistakes.
I made some mistakes. I'll let you murder everyone I ever knew.
Judy from down the block didn't deserve this. Any big story points you want to touch on? They're really, I feel like we've covered the main gist of what the story's about.
Yeah, I mean, that is the main gist.
I will say,
Um,
if you were kind of even interested in the first part of the story and you like the mechanics of the game, I would really recommend playing Nier Automata, because Nier has very, very, very similar mechanics. It holds up well so far to the test of time, and like the way that it presents the story is so interesting. There's, I think, 26 endings
That's too many.
to
It's just
Nier.
far too many.
And it's not like the ending where you have to play the whole thing to get to the very end. There's some endings that are a lot shorter and you just have to do something different. But yeah, I really cannot recommend Nier enough. I definitely recommend Stellar Blade as well. But if you were looking for more of that like satisfying story conclusion and satisfying like the story of Nier is very near and dear to my heart. So
So Kevin, game of the year contender or
Not for me. No,
Yes, for me.
I don't think this is gonna. Even right now, looking at my list of games I've beat, I don't think this is gonna. This will probably be top 10. I don't think it hits top 5 for me though.
I don't think
right?
I've played more than one game this year.
That's
That's
not good.
crazy. I'm at
That's
27.
not good. You should.
Hold
How are
on,
you
let
gonna?
me
How are you
consult
gonna
my PlayStation.
participate?
How do you have a PlayStation podcast?
And
What do you
Play
what do you-
games.
they're like,
Listen,
what-
Taylor doesn't play games. You're not playing games.
Mm.
oh, I played Dragon's Dogma for like 5 hours. Oh, and I played Death
No.
Stranding for like 30 hours. See,
Oh,
I've
you
played
poor thing.
games.
I think it'd be either in my top 5 or top 10 right now. I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it more.
I think it's a good game. I do recommend the game. I just don't think it's game.
I
of the year
also
contender.
do. Especially if you're like coming off of like Final Fantasy Rebirth and you
Mhm.
want like a nice palate cleanser where you don't need to hyper focus on the story, but it's still like fun and engaging. I think this is a good one to jump into.
I would agree with that. I would agree. It has similarities to a JRPG, but it's definitely more of an action game. So it does kind of give you a refreshed feeling if you're feeling burnt out on like RPGs.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it a lot. I can't wait to see what Shift Up does next. I think Sony should invest more money in them.
Into their story department.
You know, maybe send over like a screenwriter or something, or you know, have someone like edit the script a little. Preferably no one from like Naughty Dog.
There's no way that it's like a localization issue, right? Like
No,
they couldn't have fumbled the story that bad with localization,
I
right?
don't. I think we would have heard something like Unicorn
No, the-
Overlord. I heard about
had
localization
localization,
issues.
yeah.
And that's a
Okay.
much smaller game than this.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's a localization thing. I think it's just they probably didn't want to do too much, I mean, I think the ending does feel somewhat rushed, especially because it's like this is the point of no return, and then you spend the next like
And it's
6
hours. Yeah.
just
And
doing
you
those
like after
missions.
that you can go back to other areas. Like that's how I got all those outfits. Is like when you come back with Lily, you can go to the other areas and go do other stuff.
Yeah, but at that point you're like, well, I have to go. There's one final boss to fight. I might as well just go do it. Well, unless you're Bree, but
Yep.
I don't know. I think Shift Up is doing great stuff. Keep
Mhm.
it up.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they have in store, either for the sequel, for our next game, DLC, whatever. I'll be there for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really glad that you ended up playing it, Kevin. I thought you weren't for sure, so I'm glad that you played it.
I had it pre-ordered. The demo, like, I liked it. I wasn't like I wasn't super like pumped for it, but I enjoyed the
Mhm.
game. 17 hours, well spent.
I probably spent like close to 40
20
hours.
28 hours is what I did.
Let me check my count. I am at 43 hours.
Which makes sense because Bree collected all the intel. Even she thought she needed all of the intel.
I'm really mad about that.
Jesus.
I'm really mad. I thought you needed all the memory sticks. I'm like short 4 memory sticks before I realized that I didn't need to. I was really mad.
I mean, having said that, I almost got all of the memory sticks just naturally playing the game.
I have no idea. Didn't look. No.
Ugh. And
Didn't
shout
even know
out
it
to
was
the
a
whale
thing.
shark that you can catch on the little fish bowl.
You guys,
All
I
right.
cannot believe I wasted all that time.
I can.
It's not wasted if you enjoyed it, but
I didn't.
oh, okay.
I
Okay.
didn't enjoy. I didn't enjoy getting the memory sticks. It was a terrible decision.
Oh, okay. My apologies. My bad. All right, guys. I think that will do it for our Stellar Blade review discussion and spoiler cast. If you've played the game, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure again to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We appreciate the support. Guys, I'm gonna do some outro. So Kyle, where can people find you on the internet?
Discord. Our Discord.
Link down below.
Mm-hmm.
Bree, where can people find you?
You can find me at Fabulous Brianna, FABULISTBREANNA. What about you, Kev?
You can find me at the Muffin Mon on all social medias. It's a 1 to 7 I, O and 7A. Follow us at Save Game Media on Threads, Twitter, wherever to stay up to date with all of our latest content. Until next time, we will see you. Goodbye.